In almost all typical home sales, a negotiating method called best and final is almost always used. While best and final is fine if your goal is just selling, if your goal is selling for top dollar, it's actually pretty awful. In this video, I'll show you a much better method, one that feels no different to you as the seller, that consistently delivers higher selling prices by as much as 9.6%. I'll also explain why you don't know about this method already and give you one essential truth about the real estate industry, something the industry has no interest in telling you, but you need to know if your goal is selling for top dollar and not just selling. And the difference between the two is greater than most people can imagine. Hi, and welcome to Optimal Real Estate. I'm Wilson Van Law, a real estate agent who specializes in selling homes for top dollar, optimizing the buying process, and demystifying the real estate industry. The channel is home to everything I've learned either the hard way or from experts in over 20 years of buying, renovating, and selling homes, and an agent focused on optimizing my clients' outcomes, not just on sales. This is the first video in a series on selling your home for top dollar and what's called an optimal sale. The series gives you everything you need to know about home selling in the real estate industry to sell your home for absolute top dollar, something you can never take for granted. I'll start with the essential thing you need to know about the real estate industry if you want to sell your home for top dollar. If it's your first video on the channel, it will likely surprise you. All of what you're about to hear is true. You can Google it yourself if you'd like, but you probably haven't heard it before. Your first reaction might be to doubt it or to think it can affect you personally. But as you'll soon learn, it can and it does. It profoundly affects anyone who sells or buys a home. That essential fact is the real estate industry exists to sell homes and nothing more. It has no obligation to or interest in selling homes for top dollar, and it never has. But most importantly, it has huge financial incentives not to. If it focuses on anything but sales volume, it loses money, as much as 50% on every sale. So instead of trying to sell homes for top dollar, it's trying to give itself the best chance to double its income on every home it sells. Because of that, the methods typically used to sell homes, including how they're negotiated, aren't designed to sell them for top dollar. And many of them prevent it entirely. Even homes selling for record numbers don't mean those homes sold for top dollar. Those record numbers reflect the state of the market. While the market is by far the biggest factor in a home sale, it is not remotely the only one. Instead, each of the choices made in every step of the selling process, from before your home is on the market until it's sold, can either make or cost you a great deal of money. And as you'll quickly see in this video and on this channel, the way a home is sold will radically affect its selling price. And negotiating is just one part of that. The reason you don't know any of this is that the industry has no interest in telling you. And why would it? Its financial obligation to you doesn't go beyond a sale. And if you're not aware of the implications of that, it can cost you a great deal of money. Let's get to it. The first tip to an optimal sale is that the way your home sale is negotiated can easily make or cost you many tens of thousands of dollars, even if your best and final offer blows your mind. But the negotiating method almost always used in a typical home sale isn't the method that can bring you this extra money. The two methods have been studied and compared in PhD level research papers, and the method you're about to learn is better at generating higher selling prices by as much as 9.6%. This has generally been my experience, but I have seen it raise the selling price by more than 10%. I'll explain why later in the video. Although negotiating is the last part of your home sale, since it's such an easy and effective way to raise your selling price, I'm covering it first. I'll first give you a quick overview and then explain how and why this works. While it might not seem like it, your home sale is an auction. A unique item is put up for sale, in this case your home, and buyers can bid on it. The way that any auction is handled can either make or cost you a tremendous amount of money. This is a long-established fact in the branch of economics known as auction theory, and the type of auction almost always used in a typical home sale, a version of what's called a sealed bid auction, isn't the best method. Something called the dynamic English auction is astoundingly more effective at optimizing revenue, or as I'm calling it, selling for top dollar. Your first question might be, is this a weird thing to do in a home sale? The answer to that is no, I use it all the time, and not only are buyers willing to pay a lot more for your home, as a bonus, they really like it. They're not angry or upset about how they were treated if they don't get the home, and I'm frequently thanked by agents for how both they and their clients were treated. Your second question might be, how can I possibly get up to 10% more for my home sale even when my best and final offer is way over asking? Here's how and why it works and how I learned about it in the first place. As you probably know, at the end of almost all non-private home sales, a best and final offer is accepted. Buyers are kept in the dark about the other offers and given, at the most, one chance to raise their bids. But in a competitive situation, almost every buyer I've ever encountered, myself included, is willing to raise their bid if they find out they didn't get a home. As an agent focused on finding the best methods to get my clients as much as humanly possible for their homes, I put this simple fact to use. Since then, I've easily gotten them many tens of thousands of dollars above what would have been their best and final offers. I first tested this on a home priced at $400,000. After receiving best and final, instead of accepting an offer, I began negotiating. I allowed buyers to raise their bids repeatedly, and once it served the goal of getting top dollar, I told everyone what the best offer was at all times. The results were extraordinary. In 2 days, I was able to boost our winning best and final offer by $41,000. That's an increase of 10.93%. The reasons people are willing to pay so much more based on how something is sold is studied and tested in auction theory. I promise this will be short and sweet and will explain the conditions that can be created to sell your home for so much more money. Basically, what people are willing to pay for your home is based on two things called common and private value. Common value is a home's perceived value in the market. Private value is how much a person really wants it. An optimal sale raises both of these values, but when negotiating, private value can easily be boosted in two ways. First, people will offer more, not less, if they know what the other offers are. That's been tested and studied, and I see it in every optimal sale with multiple offers. So once you get an offer high enough to help with selling for top dollar, you start sharing what that highest offer is. Second, once a person has made an offer, they've shown they want the home. In a sense, they're committed. And when you allow buyers to keep submitting higher offers, in other words, raise their bids, FOMO, fear of missing out, is raging in their minds. The competitive aspects of FOMO massively boost the private value people see in your home. And any fears that they have that they're paying too much go away because they know that other buyers are seeing the same value they do. So almost all of them are willing to pay much more than they would have in a best and final situation. As you've already seen, sometimes more than 10%. You might wonder, if this simple negotiating tip is known to be so effective at getting sellers so much more money, why isn't it commonly used in real estate? As I cover in detail in the tips on the industry and agents, the reason is simple. The real estate industry isn't focused on optimizing your revenue. It's focused on optimizing its own revenue. The industry's one focus, like any broker in any industry, is to make money on selling things. In this case, it just happens to be real estate. It doesn't aim to sell homes for top dollar, and as I mentioned, it's not even required to try. But most importantly, it's not in its financial interests to do so. And if you're not aware of that simple fact when you sell your home, it can cost you tremendously. Here's how that focus on sales can affect you. An optimal sale could easily bring you many tens of thousands more dollars for your home, and not uncommonly six figures. For you, an opportunity to put an extra $30,000, $70,000, or even six figures more in your retirement account, or however you want to spend that money, is a no-brainer, especially when you have to do nothing to get it. Even though it's a fraction of what you sold for, it's still enough money to strongly affect or maybe even change your life. Think about how much college costs, or student loans, or a bunch of vacations, or even a big chunk of a second home. But what the industry can make on that extra money is a tiny fraction of what it can make by selling just one more home. And with hundreds of billions in revenue up for grabs, the industry focuses on as many sales as possible, not optimizing each and every one. And because of that, you're at risk of never seeing all that money we've discussed in a typical industry sale. This makes sense from a business perspective. Since the industry has no responsibility to sell homes for top dollar and gets paid per sale, it wants as many sales as possible, as quickly as possible. This isn't to say the industry never tries to help sellers sell for more money. That is not remotely true. The best in the industry try very hard at this. The best brokerages actually have amazing programs that can help sellers sell for a whole lot more, which is the biggest of the many reasons I chose to work with my brokerage. But to sell for top dollar, you have to do all of the things, not just some of the things. You have to keep in mind that your home sale is a business transaction, and I mean for you, not the industry. Your home sale is not a simple thing. To sell for top dollar, it can't be treated like a yard sale with some photos on the internet for advertising and a sign out front. It's a sales, marketing, and negotiating job, nothing more and nothing less. And like any sales, marketing, and negotiating job, if each part isn't handled the right way, it can cost you a substantial amount of money. You've seen how a simple thing like how your home sale is negotiated can increase your selling price by more than 10%. Each part of your home sale is like this. All of them have to be optimized to make sure you sell for top dollar. Now, treating your home sale like the business transaction it actually is doesn't make an optimal sale impersonal, dry, and awful. Since selling our homes is such a personal and intimate thing, an optimal sale both ensures you sell for top dollar and makes sure things are as easy on you as possible. While the steps might be the same as the best typical sale, because it's so open and transparent, there's less anxiety involved, and your peace of mind is as much a focus as getting you top dollar. And it should be as enjoyable as possible. For all the stress involved, there's a lot to be excited about when it's time to sell your home. That's the first tip to an optimal sale. The other videos in the series cover the other tips. To learn more about the other parts of an optimal sale, you can get a guide with all of the steps and tips by using the link in the description. If you'd like to talk with me about selling your home optimally on Long Island or in the city, you can find out how to reach me in the description. If you're looking for an agent who follows the practices of an optimal sale but live elsewhere, I'd be happy to help with that as well. If you found value in the video, please like it. If the video did help, please share it with anyone you think it might help as well. For more videos like it, you can subscribe to the channel. I really hope this helped. See you in the next video.